right, so you ready to dive into this comet stuff?
Always ready for some cosmic talk.
Well, you've probably heard all the chatter about this comet C2024G3, right? Atlas, they're calling it. It's got the astronomy world buzzing, and for good reason, I guess.
Yeah, this one's a bit special.
I mean, it's swinging by the sun for the first time in like 160,000 years. Could be the first time any human's ever seen it. Crazy, right?
It's pretty mind-boggling when you think about it. 160,000 years. That's longer than modern humans have even existed.
I know, right? So the big question is this going to be some dazzling light show, or will it just fizzle out?
That's the mystery, isn't it?
Yes, that's what we're here to figure out.
Exactly. Unpack what we know, see where to look, and maybe even get a glimpse from space, too. Heard an astronaut on the ISS snapped a photo of it.
Oh yeah, that Don Pettit photo. We'll get to that. But first, for anyone who needs a little refresher, what exactly is a comet?
So basically, think of them as leftovers, like cosmic crumbs from when our solar system first formed. Imagine these giant snowballs made of like ice, dust, rocks, all that stuff just floating around. And when they get close to the sun...
Things start to heat up. Literally.
No, exactly. That heat turns the ice and dust into gas. And that's what creates those iconic tails we see trailing behind comets.
Ah, so that's the science behind the sparkle.
Precisely. Now, this particular comet, C2024G3, was discovered just last year, actually, by NASA's Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System.
Catchy name.
Randomly rolls right off the tongue. But that's where it borrowed a nickname Atlas from. And the thing that makes this comet so special, so interesting, is how incredibly close it got to the sun.
It's perihelion. I saw some article calling it a sun-skirting comet. Made me chuckle.
It does have a certain ring to it, doesn't it? But yeah, perihelion just means the point where a comet's orbit gets closest to the sun. And C2024G3, well, it got really close.
How close are we talking?
About 8.3 million miles from the sun's surface. That was on January 13th, just a few days ago. And that intense heat, well, that's what's got everyone so excited.
Because it could make the comet brighter, like way brighter.
Exactly. The closer to the sun, the more that solar energy vaporizes the ice and dust. That's what makes the tail visible and the whole comet brighter overall.
So how bright are we talking? I even saw some folks saying it could be as bright as Venus.
That's where things get tricky. It's definitely possible, but predicting a comet's brightness is kind of like, well, it's notoriously difficult. There are so many factors involved.
What kind of factors?
Well, like the composition of the comet itself, what it's made of, and how fast it releases that gas and dust as it gets heated up. Even its rotation can play a role.
So we're saying don't get our hopes up too high for a Venus-level spectacle.
It's always best to manage expectations a little, But the possibility is definitely there, especially around perihelion. Those few days are key for viewing.
Speaking of viewing, you mentioned this comet might be visible for the first time in 160,000 years. It's mind-blowing. So where should we be looking?
The best seats in the house are definitely in the southern hemisphere.
Really? Why is that?
Well, it all comes down to where the comet is in the sky relative to the horizon. Down south, you want to look east just before sunrise or west just after sunset.
Got it. So what about those of us up north? Any chance for a decent view?
It's not impossible, but it'll be more challenging from higher latitudes.
Bummer. Guess we northerners drew the short straw this time.
The comet's position in the sky just makes it tougher to spot from up there. You might get lucky, but it's not a guarantee.
Fingers crossed, I guess. Now, I did read that NASA astronaut Don Pettit actually took a picture of C2024G3 from space. Up on the ISS, no less? Pretty amazing, right?
Oh, absolutely incredible. That photo is a real gem. It gives us this incredible view of the comet's tail, all the details of its structure. It helps us understand how the solar wind interacts with all that cometary material. Fascinating stuff.
And I bet from up there, he's got a crystal clear view, no atmospheric distortion or anything.
Exactly. No atmospheric interference at all. It's a truly unique perspective.
So for us folks stuck on Earth, any tips for catching a glimpse of C2024G3?
Absolutely. The biggest thing is to find a spot with as little light pollution as possible. I mean, the darker your surroundings, the better your chances of seeing it.
Makes sense. Anything else?
Well, binoculars or a small telescope can be a huge help too. They'll magnify the view and help you see more detail.
Good to know.
And last but not least, patience, my friend. Comet hunting is a waiting game. It can take time to spot them.
Patience. Got it. And of course, safety first.
Yeah.
Especially if you're out there near sunrise or sunset. Don't stare at the sun, right?
Absolutely. Eye safety is crucial. Never look directly at the sun, especially not with any kind of magnifying device.
Good reminder. So here we are, possibly witnessing a piece of cosmic history. A comet unseen for 160,000 years, making its closest pass by the sun, putting on a little show for us down here on Earth. Pretty wild when you think about it.
It really is a once-in-a-lifetime event, potentially. So if you have a chance, step outside, look up, and see if you can catch a glimpse. You never know what wonders the night sky holds.
Words to live by.
Definitely.